I want to thank everybody who joined my first holiday giveaway. But in case you missed it, don't worry. The holiday season is not over. We're just getting started. Just go to winlarry.com right now. I have another giveaway waiting right for you. This Christmas, we are proud to give you something I know many of you have been asking for. That's right. For the first time ever, we're giving away a full subscription to the Epoch Times. Wait a second, watch this. You'll get a weekly print paper delivered right to your door, plus access to all of the Epoch Times digital content, including Epoch TV, where you can watch my full 1-hour show without censorship. I promise this is going to be one of the best gifts you're ever going to get. Besides, what's a better way to celebrate Christmas than having a reliable source of honest news delivered right to your door? So, what are you waiting for? Just go to winlarry.com right now. I will announce 3 lucky winners live on my show on December 23rd. Don't wait. Go to winlarry.com right now. That's winlarry.com right now. How big a price did the United States pay to get WNBA star Brittney Griner back from Russian prison? The Biden administration exchanged a criminal named Victor Bout for Brittney Griner. Who is Bout? Well, those defending the swap don't think of Bout as all that bad.
Let me say this. No one knows the story of Paul, of the weapons dealer, if you will. And as the facts would tell them. He was sentenced to 25 years. He served 11 to 16 years. I don't know, I can't remember the exact number. But in actuality, his weapons might have been used to kill Americans. He has not killed Americans. I'm not saying he's not a nasty, bad guy, but I will tell you that I believe that Americans should know that the sovereignty of their nation will always be behind them and they'll never be forgotten. Brittney Griner deserved this fight that we put forward. So does Paul Whelan.
So who exactly is Victor Bout and what did he do?
Victor Bout, in my eyes, is one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
On the face of the earth?
Without a doubt.
Mike Braun, the former chief of operations for the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, told us Bout first exploded on the scene in war-torn West Africa in the late 1980s. Elevating bloody conflicts from machetes and single-shot rifles to
AK-47s, not by the thousands, but by the tens of thousands.
So he weaponizes civil war in Africa.
He transformed these young adolescent warriors into insidious, mindless, maniacally driven killing machines that operated with assembly line efficiencies.
Now 43, Bout from the Soviet Republic of Tajikistan is a mystery man who reportedly served in the Soviet Air Force and Intelligence Service. The U.S. has indicted him on 4 terror-related charges, including conspiracy to kill Americans.
What makes him a threat to the United States?
He is a shadow facilitator. He's arming not only designated terrorist groups, insurgent groups, but he's also arming very powerful drug trafficking cartels around the globe.
Taking advantage of Russian military contacts at the highest levels in the collapse of the Soviet Union, federal prosecutors allege Bout essentially became a one-stop shop, offering an unlimited supply of stockpiled Cold War weapons to bad guys around the world, including Charles Taylor of Liberia, who's now on trial for war crimes. According to the U.S. indictment, Bout had a unique selling point when it came to weapons trafficking, a fleet of cargo airplanes capable of transporting weapons and military equipment anytime, anywhere, more than 60 planes in all, his own private air force.
Those Russian aircraft were built like flying dump trucks. He could move this stuff and drop it with pinpoint accuracy to any desert, to any jungle, to any other remote place in the world, right into the hands of what I refer to as the potpourri of global scum.
It seems to me that as horrible as it is that the Russians held Griner for almost a year, this man was convicted of conspiring to kill Americans.
I understand the criticism. They weren't in the room. They weren't on the phone. They weren't watching the incredible effort and determination by Mr. Carson's and his team to try to get both Paul and Brittney out together. I mean, in a negotiation, you do what you can. You do as much as you can. You push and you push and you push. And we did. And this deal we got last week, that was the deal that was possible. It was the deal we could get now. Now was the moment we could get it, and we executed it.
You know, one has to wonder, given the fact that Marine Paul Whelan is still behind Russian bars, where the Griner's race and sexual orientation played a factor. What's that? The great Eldersky has in his baby brown libertarian fingers a couple of MYPILLOW slippers? Yes, I do, and they're right here. And you can't have mine, but you can get your own if you call that number right on the screen. Also, you can go to MyPillow.com and use promo code ELDER. They come in different colors. They come in different styles. What's this? Elder has a MyPillow at the ready? I most certainly do. This is the Mac Daddy of them all, the MyPillow. Am I being redundant? They come in different sizes. You've never slept on anything more comfortable. Again, call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, use promo code ELDER. What's this? The 6-pack? Towels? Hand cloths? Face cloth? Say it ain't so, Elder. It is so. 6-pack. All you have to do is call the number on your screen or MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Finally, what does Elder have here? He has the Giza Dream bedsheet. Mine comes in white, fitting for the black face of white supremacy. But since you're not the black face of white supremacy, you might want different colors. And they come in different colors. Also, different sizes because beds come in different sizes, so I'm told. Twin, king, queen, king. Did I say king already? California king. Call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER. Inflation appears to be coming down, but it still is much higher than the pre-COVID, pre-Biden levels. Watch this.
Are you in the peak inflation camp, David, or are we going to hang out here at this elevated, sticky, stubborn level? Where do we go from here?
China, and does it depend on Ukraine?
There's all those factors matter, and then there's also some of the domestic factors too. Take in Australia, even say natural gas prices may still have some further sharp rises coming in certain states next year. So there still will be certain elements of this inflation pressure, even with some of these idiosyncratic forces. I would say in general, we're going to see inflation has seen its peak this year, but it will still be above what we had been used to pre-pandemic next year. It's more about in the coming few years that we do expect that we go back down in the direction of where we were back in 2019, where we were still debating how many countries needed negative interest rates. And the big reason for that, I would say, dominating everything is demographics. That has not changed at all.
And here's what the Treasury Secretary said.
I think we'll see a substantial reduction in inflation in the year ahead.
It's going to take a year.
Well, I believe by the end of next year you will see much lower inflation if there's not an unanticipated shock.
Well, we just got the inflation number from last month, November, and inflation rose 0.2%, which means it has been 7.1% year to year, still substantially higher than when Biden took office. So, is it coming down? It is still much, much higher than the 2% or so that we saw during the Trump administration. Finally, Karen Bass is the first woman and only the second black person to be elected mayor of Los Angeles. It's a big deal, wrote Erica D. Smith of the LA Times, November 17, 2022. Now, I would have been the first black person to be elected governor of California, but apparently to Ms. Smith, not a big deal. In fact, she called me the black face of white supremacy, subheadline, "You've been warned." So apparently, had I gotten elected governor of California, not a big deal. But Karen Bass gets elected mayor of LA, big deal. Can you say not too bigoted? Now, you can always call and leave us a message. 888-971-7243, 888-971-SAGE. Make sure your message is under 59 seconds and por favor, no profanity. Let's take a call.
Hey, Larry, love your show. Like my junior high school teacher used to say to us, no ticky, no shirty, voter ID. Either no voter ID, no vote. Second thing, the stupidest thing I've ever heard is people of color. I guess they didn't have a box of crayons when they were a kid. White is a color, so we're all people of color. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Love your show. Take care. Be well. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Bye.
I think probably the only thing dumber than people of color is the expression African American. I once interviewed a writer with the LA Times. I said, notice in one paragraph, in the beginning of the paragraph, you refer to this guy as an African American, and then by the end of the paragraph, you refer to him as black. Well, you switch it up so people don't get bored. And I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from here. I said, so am I. Where are your parents from? He said, they're from here. I said, so are mine. Where are your parents from? He said, they're from Russia. I said, how come you're not a Russian American? I said, I assure you, my people have been here in the United States longer than your people, but I have a dash in front of my name, and you don't? Why is that? And he went, blah, 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 blah. Wait, thank you very much for the call.
Hey, Larry. This is Gordon from Sacramento. If that lady basketball player broke Russian laws, didn't she break American laws also? And shouldn't she be cited for breaking American laws? What's the chance of her being cited? What do you think? Have a good one, Larry. Bye.
Well, if I were the odds maker, I put the odds at her being cited for breaking American law at 0. You know that.
Larry, I'm old school. I'm 71 years old. I get you on rabbit ears.
I didn't even know you could get us on rabbit ears. I'm impressed.
I don't have cable TV in my house, but I love watching you and listening to you. And please keep doing what you're doing, Larry. Peace be with you, man.
Thank you. Let's hear it for rabbit ears.
Hi, Larry. I'm calling you from Durham, North Carolina, where I teach at that tremendous but left-sliding university.
The Research Triangle.
This year, commercials ask if you or a loved one were stationed at Camp Lejeune, you might be entitled to compensation. In 5 years, commercials will ask if you or a loved one were convinced to medically or surgically transition to another gender and regret that transition, you might be entitled to compensation. Thanks, Larry.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Thank you for the call.
59 seconds. Okay, you got a handful. You got a lot of stuff to deal with. We got power station attacks. You just had a coup attempt in Germany. Someone needs to take responsibility for the power station attacks. Is this a deep state thing, or do we have a group of renegades running around, disorganized people like January 6th? You know, if we objected to the election, we would have dealt with it different. The first day I would have said it's questionable. It warrants investigation. So it was all swept under the rug in a cover-up. And according to the second hand on this watch, I've got 10 seconds left. So you got a handful there, buddy. So bye-bye.
Well, thank you for the call. Let me just address the first thing you said about the power station attack. We had one recently in North Carolina. I talked to a terrorism expert, and he told me it's amazing that we don't have more terror attacks in this country because this country is wide open. It's easy to get in here. Many of our facilities do not have sufficient security. And frankly, I'm surprised we have not had another 9/11. God forbid we should. I pray that we don't. And I'm not saying that we don't have personnel trying to make sure we don't have one. But given how big and how open and how spacious this country is and how lax we are on so many different levels, I'm really quite surprised and pleasantly pleased, obviously, that we have not had another 9/11. But you're quite right. We ought to be quite concerned about power station attacks, food source attacks, farmland attacks, other electric or power grid attacks, all sorts of things that we are vulnerable for. Thank you very much for the call. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and be sure to scroll down and get on our mailing list because every now and then, for whatever reason, some of our videos do not make it on YouTube. Want to make sure you don't miss anything? Get on the mailing list. That way you'll always be apprised whenever we have any new video. And if you want to throw a little something in the tip jar, you can always donate to the show to make sure you always get a reliable, fast-paced, hard-hitting show.